Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we're here to ask, are inside bigs a liability in NBA 2K22 Next Gen? So I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on them noties, all that good stuff. So we're gonna get straight into this one. As you can see, the matchup across from me has a 55 win percent, so it's not to be taken extremely serious in terms of the level of competition we're playing against. He does, however, average more rebounds than me, 3.8 to my 3.1. But anyway, this guy in the green hair, I gotta say, is actually really nice. You're gonna see the way he's playing. Man, it is tough to guard, and I gotta say props to him for the way he was playing in this game. But regardless, we're here to be talking about all the types of things that an inside big is gonna be providing for the team, as well as what it doesn't provide to the team, which is obviously shooting. So in the situation of me not being able to shoot the ball, it makes it so a lot of these teams can double team my point guards. It makes it so they can run sides and stuff like this. Again, double team. They're not worried about giving up those twos because I feel like they're going to get back on the other end, or even more, because they probably have spacing completely across the board when they have everybody able to shoot the ball. You cannot double team people off of shooters. So for instance, if two people are literally just sitting corner and you're going for the ISOs on threes, you are going against one defender trying to get that three-pointer at the top. Whereas with a true inside big, you're allowing your guard to get double teamed in a lot of situations where they can just give up the twos and they're not worried about it. Now in this situation, don't be wrong, I don't like giving up free twos like that. That was just me making a mistake. I was on the inbound way too hard. I need to be getting back on defense a little bit further than that and not going for reach-ins and just being a little bit more conservative when it comes to defense. When I go for reaches with this 60-something steal rating, I tell you what, I am really just out this play. But this possession right here is the perfect example. Now don't be wrong, my boy AK, he is pretty good at getting himself open. I do understand that, but in these situations, yes, we have a free slip, mind you. So if my guard does hit me on this, don't act like we're not going up 5-2. It's not like we're, it's not like this is a bad shot to be taken right here. So understand this is something that we're talking about. But in this situation where he's hunting for that three-pointer and he thinks that they're just going to give up that dunk super easy, right here I'm hit a little bit late. I don't know if I have a clean dunk right there. So it's really unfortunate how that goes, because now we're down to 5 seconds. We need a shot ASAP. So Kitchen's gonna have to shoot some crazy BS. I have a free rebound. I don't exactly have a shot once again, so now we're going back out to the guard. I'm going to try and set up a roll or a slip, but now they might be a little bit more aware of not getting over that two. Either way, once again, we have a horrible take. I go back up with the dunk. So here's the thing about all this stuff. I think what's very important when you have an inside big is that you have good defense on the other end, because if we're able to stop these guys from getting threes, if they want to be in the situation where they're just giving us free twos all day, then so be it. We get our free twos, we get some stops. Now that right there is very unfortunate. You guys can clearly tell that is really, really tough right there, where yes, they would have had a free bucket and then we get one on the other end. So instead of it being 4-7, it's now 2-7. They're down by 2 possessions at the least, down by 5 points. It's really unfortunate to be in this situation. So this is where I want to explain. When you have a lead like this, it's very doable for you to have an inside big. You can keep on taking those twos. You can see my takeover progress. We'll be talking about that a little bit toward the end of the video. And stuff like this right here, we really don't want to give up. If we can just trade twos with them back and forth all day and we have a 5-point lead, that's perfect. We are not going to lose the game. But if we give up threes and then we aren't scoring on certain possessions, it's going to be really tough. AK does, however, get the shot right back, just like that, off the three. But he could have missed that, and then they have the ball, and they could have tied the game or taken the lead. So it's a really make or miss game, if we're being completely honest. And in this game, it's pretty rare that you do miss. Now, that right there is just me playing a horrible defense. I am showing you guys the good and the bad with this gameplay. I want to talk about everything, and that right there is just me playing bad D. Something I want to talk about as well, where I would say this is really good defense that these guys played, and I wanted to highlight it a little bit, where we have 2 guards out here. They both have very low driving dunk, no ability to finish at the hoop or anything like that. So what this guy is doing, he's fronting the corner. He is going to be playing defense, helping the guards, and helping the lock and the big, whatever you want to call this, right? The guard, lock, big, or lock, guard, big, whatever the case may be that these guys are on. He is helping on this side, so it's going to be really tough for them to get shots off right there, and we cannot cut right here. I'm not going to lie, Kitchen is not going to be able to make anything on that interior unless it's wide open, and it's going to be really, really tough for him to get those shots off because I don't have a build that can shoot. So the big doesn't have to stay at home on me on a pop or anything like that. He can just drop on anything that's a cut related from here, and boom, just like that, he's sending it out the court, or he's getting the ball back off a really contested take. So pretty much the way that they're playing defense right here, he has a help defender on every side of him. He plays middle, and then he has a help defender on his left and a help defender on his right. So how do we score on this, you might ask? Well, the answer is obvious. I'm just going to slip as they're going to sort of double team the guard like that, and then boom, free dunk. Now, again, this all comes down to, is your team able to accept taking those shots? I think a lot of this comes down to how good your guard is, to be completely honest with you guys. I'm not making a huge impact on this game right here, and honestly, with a non-shooting build, you don't make a huge impact in terms of the scoreboard. Now, here's the thing, right? you can still make a pretty good impact in terms of the rebounding, getting your team second chance points. As you're going to see in this gameplay, there are a lot of rebounds to be had. Now, stuff like that right there, this is still pretty good range that my build has, where I can actually semi-contest this shot right here in the corner. Whether it was me or Kitchen that got the contest on the shot, I'm not exactly sure. It looks like it was probably Kitchen, but either way, I could have jumped at that if I needed to, or I probably could have got a decent contest on it and still recovered to this rebound right here and still grab it. Now, you can see that takeover progress is looking real sweet. Now, we're going to be doing something that's a little bit different on this video. Now, I'm not sure it's really necessary for me to go for this team takeover like I did. The scoreboard kind of allowed us to just take our twos pretty freely. And as you're going to see right here, again, they're double teaming. I'm just going with the slip all day. Easy. And we're up by 6. You really can't afford to give stuff up like that when you're down by this much. Where, again, I really cannot stress enough how important it is for us to be up on that scoreboard. Giving stuff up like that is not ideal. To explain our style of defense, most times Kitchen is going to try and play the middle, and I'm going to be playing the wing side. So he's trying to play anything in toward that middle area of the court. Now, why he followed that right there to the left, I'm not sure. Again, I'm always here for the help defense to that wing spot, and you can see right there, he's kind of just flown by. But either way, not his fault completely, and things like that happen. Screw ups on defense, it is what it is. It's not that big a deal. Now, on this one right here, we're not exactly sure if they're going to give up the slip for free. So what we're doing is we're setting up kind of a nice little organized slip. So you're going to see, I love to do this right here, where I start on the same wing side as where our corner spot up is, so that when I slip, I'm away from the corner defense. He can't play passing lanes, he can't play anything like that. It allows me to also curl it off for lobs in the situation where it's needed from the guard to be able to get that pass into me. So in this situation, AK is going to be starting on the left, moving to the right. As soon as he starts moving to the right, I'm going. And you can see I kind of curl it off right here. Now, for whatever reason, he passes to Kitchen right here instead of me. He might have thought that he had a corner dot right there and a good shot. And then boom, we could have lost the ball on that right there. So once again is execution of hitting that slip, getting to the paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it up the exact same way. It has to be very quick though. The shot clock is already low, but either way, they allow us to set it up pretty cleanly. AK once again is on that left wing. I'm coming from the middle. Boom. He crosses past me just like that. Go for the dunk. That one was semi-contested. It would have been horrible if I were to get blocked right there and lose all of my takeover progress. But anyway, again, we could have just been looking for my boy at the point guard spot to fire up a 3, and if they guarded him too tightly, then I would still have a slip. But on that shot right there, we definitely wanted to set up the slip, at least ideally, because once again, I was calling out that we were almost on team takeover, and then boom, if we do get the team takeover, that is going to help us a ton at firing off these 3-pointers. And realistically, we are once again still in a range where we could comfortably take 2s and still win the game. So I don't think it's so important, and that's what I was mentioning earlier in the video. I don't think it was so important that I went for this team takeover. I don't think it was a huge game changer because once again, we had the scoreboard on our side. And this is where the questioning title of the video is: an inside big man a liability in the NBA 2K22 Next Gen? The answer to that question is always going to come back to, can you be ahead on the scoreboard and comfortably taking your 2s? And with that, your inside big man is always going to be down for offensive rebounds. He's going to be a great defensive rebounder as well. I'm sure with the lack of shooting on your build, you have something else on it that actually has a really good utility in terms of bringing it to the court. And once again, that's mostly always going to be related to defense or finishing. Now, here's the situation at hand, right? We can't be having shots like this either, but at the end of the day, it did go in. This is a white 38% contest when we are on game point right here. If we get a 2-point shot for the game, it's over. And in this situation, if they grab the offensive rebound, then they have a chance at tying the game up. And then we're one screw up away or one steal away from losing the game. Now, you can still read the backside defender and see what he wants to do for the most part on every situation. So depending on how high he's hedging toward that guard kind of tells me whether I could actually have the slip or not. I would have loved to test out and see if they would have gave it up, because honestly, I'm really curious where if AK were to start from this wing right here and if I were to start in the middle, I wonder if they would have gave it up. I'm really curious. A lot of times I love to test people on that and see if they're dumb enough to actually give up a dunk on game point for 21 points from 19, and a lot of people do. I'm gonna be real with you guys, a lot of people do, and that's a horrible mistake that a lot of people make. You need to play on the backside if you're playing this backside defense, and you really just gotta let your guard get torched. And really, they played the perfect defense. I mean, this shot right here is a really bad one, honestly. Now, to break this down just a little bit, we'll see. I feel like I could have had that rebound right there. I did move into the right position really at the last second. You can see I kind of swerved past him a little bit and seal him off. Boom, would have boxed him out just like that. That is a really nice maneuver from the rebounding aspect, but either way, I probably would have had this. I mean, I got glass take on. He's a lot smaller than me. I'm like way taller and way better rebound ratings and stuff like that too. So once again, that's where it comes back to the full circle of if you're a 7'3", 7-footer, whatever the case may be, a true inside build, you probably have really high offensive rebound rating, really good D-board, block, interior defense. You have great screen setting with the Hall of Fame brick wall. Your finishing ability is through the roof as well. Now keep in mind, this build right here, it was pretty incomplete. I was only on like gold brick wall. I had a lot of silver badges and stuff like that too. You can see we're on 11 game streak right there as well. And we're just running the 2-guard lineup. And it is still very doable to do so. You could even do so with a lockdown instead of one of the guards as well. And really what this comes down to is you do need a really good point guard to run with, or even 2 of them in this situation, to be able to actually utilize your inside big man abilities and really get consistent takes in the paint. Now here's the other thing too though that we could have a rebuttal to this on is you don't need elite finishing ability to be able to play with guards like this, where if they're giving up those free slips all day, realistically all I need is like 65 driving dunk and maybe 50 standing dunk, and just like that I'm dunking everything that's wide open and I don't need any ability to do so. Now the rebounding aspect is a whole different story, and on top of that too, as my build has been more developed, the finishing ability is way through the roof, like with mouse in the house and grace under pressure, 99 close shot, 99 standing dunk. I can really just go back up with literally anything when I grab those offensive rebounds. But again, the rebuttal to that is if you're playing with a guard that's as good as these 2 are right here, you're very able to actually have something that probably has a lot lower of a finishing ability, which would allow you to have the ability to shoot the ball. Now, if you're playing with lesser guards out there, having a build like mine right here would be really elite, where you're going to be able to actually bail them out in a sense, where in this situation, they didn't shoot the ball the best. I mean, 3 for 5, 1 for 2, and in that situation too, AK could have missed that final 3-pointer, and maybe I get a putback dunk and end the game, and just like that, now I have 12, 6, and you know, all types of stuff like that on 6 for 6 shooting, and AK had like a 2 for 5 game, where again, we would have been shooting really low on the 3-point percentages. So anyway, what I'm here to talk about, and we'll just wrap this up. I know this is a pretty short video and pretty quick video, but all I want to explain is inside bigs are not a liability as long as you are willing to take those 2s. Now the last thing that I want to mention is even if AK wasn't having the best shooting performance in this game, the threat of him scoring the ball really consistently still opens me up a lot. You can see, I mean, they're devoting 2 defenders to him and I'm wide open in the paint. So just keep in mind, this is what I'm talking about. Playing with a good point guard is opening you up so much as a big man to the point where I don't really need the ability to finish contested takes down low. I'd really just be wide open on almost everything. And even if I'm not wide open on everything, it probably means this guy's cheating off the corner and I could just dot him and then we still get a 3-pointer. And in the situation where I can actually pop slip to the corner, or even if I'm just sitting corner and sitting right there square in the corner like Kitchen is right here, this would make it so AK is literally just isoing for 3s. And a concept that I've never understood is how people will talk about screens and how they're so cheese in that sense, right? Where with me, I'm on a build that has no shooting ability at all. If I were on a shooting build that was literally just sitting square in the corner over here, at this point, one guy has to guard him for 3, and there's no help that can be sent. Dudes are just gonna knock down every corner 3 that they take. So I've never understood the people who think that isoing for 3-pointers is just something that's hard to do either, where it'd be harder to do than beating double teams like this. That's just beyond me, in my opinion. So anyway, if I were to sell somebody on my build, or maybe how I play with it, or sell you on me as a player and what I bring to the table, I would like to think that it's going to be good screens, understanding the situation at hand where I can take the slip if they do double team the guard, and when we do that, I need my guard to cooperate with me and actually hit me on the slip, and then we need to hold up on our end on the defense to actually make it so it's doable to take those 2s. So long story short is, the best friend to an inside big is good defense on the other end. And most times, if you have an inside big, you're probably going to have some pretty good defense to come with it, or you're going to have rebounds that come with it where you have second chance opportunities at points on the offensive end and you're securing pretty much every defensive rebound. In this situation, you can see these guys literally had 0 rebounds. So that is something that is added to this factor of the build. I want you guys to kind of understand that. I mean, there are games, and I'll go ahead and pop it on the screen right here, where literally the board count is like 15-2, or I mean, this is a pretty particular situation. This is me running with another 7-3 as well who's shooting the ball, not to act like, you know, he was shooting like this on purpose. He was just testing out limitless range and I was just snagging rebounds. I mean, realistically, even if yes, I'm camping the paint with glass take and I'm going for them intentionally, it's still there. Like, I can still grab literally every offensive rebound in the game. Or like, once again, 11-3 on the board count. Again, my guards are just chucking up shots, but let's say you were playing with someone who just couldn't hit very consistently, and instead of my guards chucking up shots, it's more so them just missing wide open threes. And it's possible. I mean, in this game, I'm not gonna lie, it's so easy to shoot from wide open, but maybe they're not good enough at getting themselves open and they're shooting opens, or I say it right, like there's such a difference between wide open shots and open shots in this game. So when I say open, I mean like they're actually shooting those quote unquote open shots, or maybe like 1%, 2%, all the way up to like 10%. That is hard to hit if you're not a great shooter or you don't have a great shooting build. Anyway, the long story short is, if you're hitting the big on the slips when he's open and the guard is so much of a threat that he's getting double teamed, you're taking your wide open twos, your big man is getting his takeover progress, your guard is getting his takeover progress from the assist. I mean, everything just adds up. The double glass take can just bail you out, and then your guard can just ISO for 3-pointers. If they still want to double team him, then boom, your guards can just chuck, or you can run some dexes, you can run some off ball screens for your corner spot up, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of thinking that can also go into this stuff, and realistically, I do think you can have a build like this. Now, for playing with randoms, it becomes a little bit different. I don't really know how you guys will be able to cooperate with things like that, where if you have a true inside big, maybe they're expecting you to pop a little bit or a couple times like that, or they want you to just get out of the way and go to the corner. A lot of people don't really, coexist with that stuff very well, because they're not that great at getting themselves open from three, and they're more ISO oriented at trying to drive. And then with that, they need to drive and kick when anybody wants to cheat off or double team them. So it's understandable, everybody has their own style, but if you do play with a couple guards that 3-hunt and stuff like that, it really doesn't hurt that much to have an inside big, as long as you're playing good defense on the other end. So I know it's a pretty drawn out explanation at the end, but I kind of wanted to just get everything out there and speak my mind. But anyway, that's off the video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. If you made it to the end of the video, put glass in the comments, show your sportsman all the way through. I'm gonna just go ahead and show a couple clips of like this chucking and stuff. Like you can see Tonic is over here doing spin jumpers. I might even make a video on this double see the future being activated, where like literally this is popping up instantly as soon as he shoots the ball. You can see literally it's barely out his hands and it's popping up on that right side right there by the free throw line. So when I see that, boom, I'm just sprinting over there ready for the rebound. This double see the future stuff is crazy, and it's so elite in the sense of actually being competitive, and it helps you in a lot of these situations. So right there, once again, I'm not even wide open. Tonic's gonna hit the spin jumper. It's gonna be bouncing super long. I'm still able to get right there. I mean, honestly, you can still make a pretty good impact even if you run an inside big. Once again, you do need people who can actually cooperate with you in that sense, but if you can find that, it's all good. So anyway, that's off video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Like I said, if you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try and 1,000 likes. Once again, you can put glass in the comments if you want to show your support to me all the way through. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.